So I hope you've all been doing some finger knitting. You probably have a lot of these. I hope you've found some different things to use them for. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a headband. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your supplies, your fingers, and some yarn. Today you'll also need a measuring tape. So you'll take your measuring tape and measure around your head where you want your headband to go. I measured mine and it came out to 21 inches. So I'm going to start my headband. I've chosen turquoise and peach yarn. I'm going to use two together. You could use one if you like. I wanted mine to be a little bit thicker. So let's start this together. Remember how we placed the yarn over our palm and went around our pointer finger. And now I go behind, in front, behind, and come back again, behind, in front, behind. That's my first row. We need two, so let's do it again. Around my pointer, behind, in front, behind, and then back, behind, in front, behind. Now I'll start knitting, picking the bottom group, up over the top, and the bottom over the top, bottom over the top. You can also go back and review the first video that we made on finger knitting. Push these down just a bit and go again. Around pointer, behind, in front, behind, back, behind, in front, behind. So we have two on each finger. And remember, since I'm working with two yarns, I'm going to grab them both and lift them up, over, and off. Now that we have that started, I need to go for 21 inches. The headband that we're going to make today, you can design two ways. The first one would be just plain. The second one, which is the one I'm going to make, has a double knot in the front, just to give it a little visual excitement. When I measured my head for my headband, my head came to 21 inches. For the headband with the knot, we'll make our finger knitting 21 inches, or the length that you measured your head. If you want to make the plain one, you will need to subtract 2 inches from the total measurement of your head. So if I wanted to do the plain headband and my head measured at 21, I would go back 2 inches, 20, 19, and my piece of finger knitting would then be 19 inches. I'm making the 21, but if you want it plain, 2 inches back. I've been working on my finger knitting for some time now, and I think it might be almost the right length. Let's measure. So right now, I'm at 19 inches, which would be perfect if I were making the plain headband. I would just go ahead and take the knitting off of my fingers now and tie it in the back, and then I would have a headband. But I want to put 2 knots in the front of mine, so I need to go just a little bit further to make it 21. Let's do that together. So I'm continuing on with my finger knitting for just a couple more inches. This certainly is a fast project. So let's continue on with our project. You could easily make a finger knitted headband for yourself or a friend in a day. There we go. I do believe I'm at the right spot. 21 inches. Now let's finish it off. Do you remember how we took this off of our fingers? I'm going to take my little finger and move it over to my ring finger and pop that one over. This one's going to come over here, and this one is going to come over here. There we go. Now, I'm going to cut myself a bit of a tail so that I have some yarn to tie together and put that through this hole. Pull it tight. There we go. I have my 21-inch piece of finger knitting done. The next step is going to be to find the center. So I'm going to take my piece of finger knitting, put these two ends together, and fold it in half. So I can see this is the center. Now I'm going to tie a knot here, just by wrapping it around my fingers and pulling it through. Let's measure to make sure it's in the center. There it is. So I'm going to tie this a little tight. You could make it loose if you wanted the knot to be bigger, but we're putting a second knot in here, so it's going to have a nice size. You could leave it like this if you just want the small knot, but I'm going to make a second. So right on top of this one, I'm going to make another knot. Like that. So it looks like this. See how that knot sort of sticks up a little bit? That's what I wanted. So there we have it. The last step is going to be just to tie the ends together. So I'm going to use the tails that I left from my finger knitting and pull this tight, and then put a second knot to make sure it stays closed, and pull that tight. These I can just trim, or you could take a tapestry needle and run them back through. There you have it, ready to pop over your head as a fashion statement or to hold your hair back. Finger knitted and knotted headband.